as a couple isn't the easiest thing, but imagine doing it with 3 rescue dogs joining you on the trip and your transport is motorbikes. That's the adventure for Australian couple Janell and Stu Clarke and their dogs Shadow, Azra and Weeti. They join us now from San Francisco. G'day, g'day. Wow, you have been travelling for an incredible 9 years. How many countries have you been to?
We've been to 108 countries.
That is phenomenal.
You guys are like a real-life Forrest Gump kind of a story. Just walk out the door and keep going. What set you off on this adventure?
We wanted to travel since we kind of met, really. We wanted to do a big trip, and we just figured once we leave Australia, we might as well just do as much as we can in one go. And it was only a 2-year trip when we set out, but we found our finances we were able to travel for less than we initially budgeted for. And, yeah, we were able to stretch it out, and here we are 10 years later.
Well, there's travelling and there's travelling, OK? Yeah. There's travelling and then there's travelling on motorbikes with dogs. What are some of the challenges that come with that? Are some countries more receptive to dogs than others?
Yeah, so I think generally speaking, people actually really enjoy seeing the dogs on the bikes. We always get smiles. Day to day, it's the challenges are sort of accommodation, getting pet-friendly accommodation. It's a lot easier in some countries than others. But for riding, it's just watching that we don't wear them out, particularly Weeti and Shadow. They're quite a bit older now. We've had them for 7 and 8 years. So shorter days, we don't travel so fast, and just making sure that they get plenty of rest days as well.
Yeah, certainly some unusual luggage you've got there. What do people normally say when they see you cruise by on the motorbikes with the dogs?
People usually laugh at us and the phones come out for photos and videos.
Have you had a standout moment on your adventure?
Oh, I think reaching Mongolia, riding into Ulaanbaatar, because that was sort of kind of felt like a bit of a final destination for us, and it was a country we were trying to reach for quite a few years. We were headed there just before COVID. Then COVID hit, and that slowed us down for a few years. We couldn't get across Central Asia, and finally last year we made it to Mongolia, and it's an incredible country, and it just felt very surreal to finally be there and be there with 3 dogs.
Yeah, 9 years is quite an odyssey, but it is coming to an end. You're heading back to Australia next year. You're going to hang up the passports, or is there more travel on the way?
I think there'll always be travel for us. For Weeti and Shadow in particular, because they are getting on in age, we want to give them that retirement, and the retirement we've always promised them in Australia. So I think it'll be a few years where we'll settle, but we're travellers, so I think we'll be back into it pretty quickly at some point.
You met them along the way, didn't you, those dogs? They weren't the ones you left home with?
No, we did leave Australia with our dog. We had Skylar. She was a Staffordshire Bull Terrier cross, but unfortunately she had cancer and she passed away about 6 months into the trip. But it wasn't long before we adopted Weeti. We picked her up in Venezuela, where Skylar passed away, and then about 9 months later we picked up Shadow in Colombia, and it was only the end of 2021 that we picked up Azra in Turkey. She was just tiny puppy, just ran across the road, and yeah, it was just meant to be, I think.
That was our biggest challenge, really. Adopting a puppy on the road while travelling.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what an adventure it is. It is an absolute odyssey. We wish you all the best. Safe travels, and we'll see you back in Oz next year.
Yes.
Great, thanks very much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, welcome. If you want to see more of Janell and Stu's adventures, just head to the packtrack.com.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.